All right, let's get the lights on here. Right on. Cool. So I'm getting all prepped here. Excuse the shakiness. I'm slacking. I haven't been live every single Monday night. I skipped this past Monday night, everybody, going live because I was on a very special hunting trip. It was Skip and Josh's moose hunt, and it was a success, huge success story, to say the least. So I'm gonna wait a moment, see who joins me. Right now, no one's on here right now, but all right. Hello, hello. Anybody there? Hello, hello. Anybody there? Yeah, let's play some cool content while we're waiting for everybody to join us. All right. Yeah. Look at that bull. Yeah, let's see here. It's us in the morning. I think this is when we saw the spike bulls. Oh, he's... Look at this, the guide just grunted. Here, let's hear that again. You guys gotta hear this again. So this is our guide, AJ. Listen. Yeah. So right over here, we saw two spike bulls come trotting along in this cut, and they went to our right. And AJ was certain he heard the bigger bull down here in the woods, right here. I did get a short little video clip with the main camera of the spike bulls trotting along, heading over, right over in here. The last time we saw one of the two spike bull moose, one of them was just standing still right in here, right there. They went this way to our right. We made our way down slowly to this lookout point, and the guide, AJ, was doing some soft grunting. Yeah, pretty neat, huh? All right, so who else on here with me, joining me live? Just come off a moose hunt. So Skip and Josh, they had a successful hunt. My friend Skip drew this bull tag for a Maine moose hunt. Anyone else? Keith at least says congratulations on the moose. Thank you, Keith. If I remember, Keith, you were with me live, not this past Monday. I didn't go live this past Monday because I was on this moose hunt as the cameraman, and I was filming, and we were chasing mooskies. It said hi, E. Daisy says hi Daisy. Keith, if you're still here, I do believe you told me a couple Mondays ago that you weren't going on a moose hunt, or that you've never been on a moose hunt. Is that correct? And thank you for the congratulations, Keith. Let me correct me if this says my buddy got his last Tuesday in Zone 4. 575-pound bull. Nice. So this bull of Josh and Skip's field dress, 770 pounds. Let's see. AJ, the guide, AJ and Andy, the guides. Andy was the father. This guide that was with us, AJ, he was the younger son of the father-son duo guide service. It was the Eustace Ridge Lodge Guide Service, Eustace Ridge Lodge Guides, something like that. And AJ, he got us up good and early, like 4 a.m. We got a good early jump start getting into the area. He, rightfully so, any guide would want to take their clients out good and early and beat the crowds. I mean, Josh and Skip, they paid good money for this. So it makes sense to beat everyone else, get to the spot first, especially a hot spot that AJ and Andy scouted. AJ told us there was those 2 spike bulls, 4 or 5, I think upwards of 5 bulls in the area he wanted to take us on the first morning. There was the 2 spike bulls that he knew were in there, and then 3 good, respectable, decent shooter bulls. 3 bulls that Josh and Skip would be very happy to shoot. So AJ took us to this first spot. And let's see, well, let me pause my story briefly because Keith is still typing. He says, no, I've been on 14 hunts now. My wife and son have the adaptive hunts next week in 4. Oh, yes, that's right. Keith, I think your brother reached out to me this past week while I was on my moose hunt up in Eustace Stratton area. So that's right. So you have, Keith, you, I think, mentioned this live streaming every Monday night to your brother, and I appreciate that. Your brother did reach out, and he did say he'd like to join, come on board every Monday night, join us live so he can chat and stuff and share some of his hunting tips and hunting stories and success stories and stuff. Because obviously this whole live streaming thing, the whole point of it, the focus around live streaming for anyone wanting to live stream on the YouTube is to build a community. In this case, a hunting, fishing community where we can all just join one another and chat, and I can just blabber. I can answer your questions. All of you can shoot out your questions through chat, and we can just build this hunting, fishing community and stuff. And I'll share my experiences, my hunting success stories, and my friends' hunting success stories. And by all means, I'm going to share my email with all of you. If you have a hunting success story that you want shared, and you have some awesome photos you've taken, maybe short little video clips, stuff, but you don't know what to do with it maybe. So if you have these awesome hunting success stories with good videos or short little like 30-second to 1 minute video clips, you can email this to me at wildmaineoutdoors@gmail.com. Jason Gibson, he's not on here yet with me, but he's been joining me live almost every Monday. He's been watching all my videos. He's been commenting on every upload that I put on my YouTube channel. He's been emailing me some stories and questions and stuff, and emailing me pictures of his food plots, bear bait sites. Back when we were baiting black bear, Jason Gibson was sharing some stuff with me we were conversing back and forth through email. And that's what I want to do here, is build that sort of kind of friendship with all of you, with one another. And I'd like you to share your hunting success stories and share some of like tactics and tips that you've learned along the way and that helped you be successful in your really awesome deer hunts, and moose hunts, bear hunts, and turkey hunts, and such, and so forth. And so we want to share all that with one another. So he says, how many moose did you all see last week? Great question, Keith. We saw, I'm going to stop blabbing. I'm going to show you something, Keith. All right, sorry for the close-up. Let's get on my laptop here and show you something really cool. Let's see, the bull that we shot came in. Oh gosh, let's see, what's this here? Is this it? Come on. No, that's not it. Hold on, bear with me, Keith. Everyone else, hold on. Keith asked me a question, everybody, and I'm going to answer that through video instead of blabbing all the time. I'm going to show you through video. He asked how many moose we saw. You want to see? There's Josh and Skip. The bull came in. We shot him right. Hold on, you guys got to see this. It should be all right here. So what's the hold up here? What's this? Is this it? This might be it. Okay, no, that was the. No, that's not it. That's when we. So maybe it's the video before that. It might be right here. All right, that might be this video, guys. Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, you gotta check this out. So there's Andy, the guy. Zach Griffin says wild mail. Yeah, hold on there, Zach. Yeah, it's wildmaineoutdoors@gmail.com. Yeah, wild Maine. Maine, like the state of Maine. MAINE. Wild Maine, MAINE. Outdoors@gmail.com. That's the email that you guys can share your hunting success stories with via sending me email. Send some pics along the way, and I'll share it on the live streams. So we're getting into position here. It's taking a while here. I know that's boring. Let me skip ahead. You guys got to see this. All right, so you gotta check this out. You guys, it's not showing nothing. I'm zoomed in on. Oh. Oh yeah, you guys gotta check this out. So this is Josh and Skip, father and son. Skip drew the bull tag for this Maine moose hunt. He's the sub-permittee. So we have one that comes right in. Skip ahead a little bit. This is in answering Keith's question. So Keith, we saw 2 spike bull moose on the first morning. This is the second day of our hunt, and we saw 2 this day. Ended up shooting one of the 2 on this day. So 4 total we saw.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Yeah, you guys gotta check this out. Is this the video where he comes in? Yeah, the landscape was awesome. This was the second morning. It was foggy. On the first day of our hunt, it was sunnier. We could see a lot more. Let's see. No, that's not it. So where the heck is it where the bull came? Holy crud. And this bull, man, he come rushing right in. Okay, that's all right. Hey, you guys got to see this. Anyways, so to answer Keith's question, we saw 4 total, shot 1 because we got the bull down on the second day of the hunt. So let's see, Keith Lilly went. He said my buddy got his last Tuesday in Zone 4. Congratulations on getting that moose. Zone 4 too can be a tough hunt. So that's awesome that you're that you guys did get one down. Zone 4. Oh, yeah, and it was a bull too. Nice. Let's see who else is. Verica says hi. Hi, Verica. Zach says absolutely beautiful landscape. So I'm trying to sort through all this video library here so I can show you guys the bull coming right in. This one bull, before Josh and Skip shot the one they actually tagged, an hour or so earlier, and that morning we had one come super close. It almost trampled Josh. We thought it was going to come walking right into our laps. I want to show you guys that video. So this was us. Okay. So any questions, anybody? See, Zach says, sent ya an email. Hopeful the clip attached. Hope the moose hunt someday. Very sweet experiences, no doubt. Yeah, I hope you do get on a moose hunt, Zach. So Zach sent me an email already. That's awesome. It's wildmaineoutdoors@gmail.com. Wild, W-I-L-D, Maine, like the state, M-A-I-N-E, outdoors@gmail.com. Wildmaineoutdoors@gmail.com. So all of you can use that email to send me your hunting success stories and stuff and some pics. And I'll share that on the live streams on Monday nights and stuff. Show the pics. And we can, obviously, you can also send your fishing success stories to the email. We can build a hunting and fishing community here through this via live stream thing every Monday night. Spikes and Gills live. Yeah. Oh, so what the heck happened? I'm all unorganized here. I want to show you this bull coming right into our laps. It should have been right here. This should have been it. Maybe it was right here. That was after shooting the bull. So I think it's right here. I think I got it right here. This is him coming in.
Dad.
That's the one. That's when we shot. Was this? It's got to be right here somewhere. Oh. So that was after. Okay, I think I found it, everybody. It's got to be right here. Should be right here. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. All right, everybody. Let's get off my mug shot here. Oh yeah, he's right here. Oh look, he's aiming at him. You guys see him? Here's Josh aiming at the moose. He's right in here. Maybe he hasn't come in view yet. Here he comes. You can hear him. Oh, look. There he is right there. They had a shot, but Josh was waiting on his father, who was behind him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Josh was the sub-permit. He was waiting on his father to give the word that it was okay to shoot, because he was hoping his dad would shoot first. He went off. He's gone now, but yeah. So there's the guide, AJ. There's Andy, the guide, the father. So then we got on a different bull after the fact. After we missed our opportunity on this one, we were able to get on a different one. They called in another one from deeper down in the valley. He come from the river, down by the river in the woods, and came up through the cut to our left. Let's see, I'll show you. So anyways, yep, so that bull that Josh and Skip didn't shoot at, the whole situation with that is Skip, the one who drew the permit and who made Josh the sub-permittee, who was in front. Josh was waiting on his dad, who was back over his left shoulder, and Skip was aiming with Josh just slightly to the right of the barrel of that rifle. So naturally the father wouldn't want to shoot a high-powered rifle with his son right, like, close by. Skip was saying, he said after the fact he was worried that he'd make his son deaf or something, or he didn't want any kind of accident to happen. Rightfully so. That was a good move on Skip's part. And the bull was in real thick stuff anyway. Probably not, I mean, the bull was close, but probably not the bestest of shot opportunities per se. But that first one, man, but it gave them a little bit of bull fever. They were shooken up over that. So they got like the jitters out of them. So when it came time, crunch time, to shoot the second bull, they were pretty calm and collected. They both made perfect heart shots. Skip and Josh's bullets hit almost in identical places, right around just above the heart. They got lung and heart. One of the bullets did clip the heart. They were almost side by side, the bullet holes. You could hear, like in the video when we played it back and we were watching it at camp, moose camp, you could hear Skip's touch off as Skip pulled his trigger. Josh's was almost simultaneously at the same time. They almost shot right at the same time. And what's really neat is their bullets hit like the same mark. They were kind of both aiming in the same place on this bull, and they got their pull, filled their Maine 2025 moose hunt tag on a really nice bull, like a 40+ inch bull that field dressed, 770 pounds. Let's see, Keith says that we ended up shooting our moose at 310 yards. Wouldn't come any closer. Well, that's a heck of a shot. But that's great that you guys got a moose in zone 4. Because while a lot of you, like Zach, Maine Northwoods Hunter, says, hi Maine Northwoods Hunter. Thank you for coming on. He says, Maine Northwoods Hunter says, hello from Maine Northwoods. Shane Lilly. Hi, Shane. Thanks for joining us live, buddy. So, Shane Lilly, if this is your first time checking Spikes and Gills out live, I go live most every Monday night. The exception to that is just that I might be on a hunting trip like this moose hunt last week, so I didn't go live this past Monday night. But so Shane, you could join us live every Monday night. I did share my email, wildmaineoutdoors@gmail.com. Wild, W-I-L-D, Maine, M-A-I-N-E, outdoors@gmail.com. Wildmaineoutdoors@gmail.com. Use that email to send me your hunting success stories with a few pictures, and I could share that story live in future live streams and show the pics and stuff, and we can build a hunting fishing community through the Spikes and Gills live stream. We can answer one another's questions, chat with one another, ask questions, share some tips, secret stories, so forth and so on. So Keith, I do remember, Keith, that me and you were discussing zone 4, moose hunting in zone 4, how that zone can be a tough one to be successful in. And so that's awesome that you and your buddy were successful in getting a moose out of zone 4. We were in it's like zone 7 or 8, zone 7, in the Eustis Stratton area. I think Skip drew his permit for zones like 7 and 8. either one of those zones. And I think we shot the bull in zone 7. See, Maine to North sounds great. Keith is my brother. Oh, yeah. Hey, Keith, your brother's here with us, but yes, that's right. So Shane, I was just telling Keith that you did reach out to me while I was at moose hunting camp. And so, yeah, welcome. All right, so did I miss anyone's questions? That's a high. How many moose did you all see? I answered that. So all in all, in total, wait, did we see any in our travels? On the first morning of our hunt, AJ took us across a stream crossing and way up into a cut. I think when I looked at my Apple Watch, at the end of the day, we went nearly 5 miles and like walking and stuff. AJ had us go about nearly 5 miles walking and stuff, and crossing streams, going up and down hills and along the edges of cuts. And the first morning we did get on some moose, and it happened to be the 2 spike bulls that AJ had seen in his previous scouting treks out there to the spot where he took Josh, Skip, and I. And AJ, he's just a great kid. He had his little moose antler with him, and he was doing all of his calls with his mouth. He was just lightly doing light, soft grunts, just a couple grunts, like, you know, and he'd just hit lightly with his little moose antler, a little moose paddle. He'd just rake the brush very lightly, just a little bit, just sound like a big bull moose kind of just walking through an overgrown cut, and just letting out a couple little grunts every now and then. Nothing too, there was no aggressive calling at all by these guides, by Andy or AJ. I was always under the impression that the moose rut was all during like the month of October, and your white-tailed deer rut was in November, right? But actually, contrary to belief, I know I was always believing that the moose rut was in October. It actually starts like middle of September. And AJ and Andy, the guides that we were with, were saying that the moose rut was fizzled right out, was pretty much burnt out, that they weren't quite as vocal as they were a couple weeks prior, back in September, when the rut was in full swing, when they were like in the peak rut. So we were on this hunt kind of at the tail end of the rut, the peak of the rut. And they were saying that the bulls were still feeling a little bit. They were still getting peeved. Like if AJ or Andy would call, and they did. This is how we got our bull. They were lightly calling, just making it sound like a bull was moving, a strange bull was moving into the area. And it was, for better lack of words, it was pissing off the other bull. It brought the bull in. The bull that Josh and Skip shot, it was raking the trees, the saplings. He was tearing them apart, and he let out a couple grunts on his way in, and he just come in like the big hoss of the woods, like the boss man. And Josh and Skip, they made a perfect, nearly 100-yard shot. I paced the distance at like 98 yards. Andy, the guide, paced the distance at about 115 yards with his pacing. You average that, it comes to nearly 100 yards on the money. So they had about a 100-yard shot. They both hit it perfect. And the bull ran about 50 yards before toppling over. We watched the bull go down in sight. So it's really interesting to note here that, like, what I believed to be the moose rut in October, peak middle of October and fizzle out towards the end of October before November, and then the whitetail pre-rut coming on late October and leading into peak rut sometime early to mid-November and stuff for the whitetail rut. I stand corrected here, I guess. I guess the moose rut begins in September. Who knows? I do not proclaim to know everything. I'm always constantly learning new things. I love learning everything I possibly can about the bull moose, about moose in general, and white-tailed deer and bear and turkey and the different fish species and such and so on and so forth. So let's see, Keith, there's some writing going on here. Everybody, I'm going to pause my chatter to read what people are chatting here. So Shane says, do you have any suggestions on how to hunt cow moose? Can you call them in somehow? That's a great question, Shane. And then Keith says, Zach, I was hunting with 30-06, but just went and picked up a 7mm mag for next week. We see cow moose 400 yards into clear cuts, run as soon as they saw us, so want to be ready for long shots. Yeah, that's good, good bet there. Good idea, Keith. Andrew Sanford says, my mama just shot a 154-inch 8-point in my backyard tonight. Oh, that's awesome. Do you guys see this, everybody? Keith and Shane and Zach and everyone else that's with us live. This Andrew Stanford says that his mother shot a 154-inch 8-point buck in his backyard. That's funny. That's awesome. Let's see, Keith goes on to say, guides up to Ross Lake said they will now be totally feeding on the maple whips now. So hunt the food and the food only for the cows. Yes. Great suggestion, Keith. Yeah. Well, let's see a lot of your 4B herbaceous browse, jewel weeds, goldenrods, cow vetch, and your milkweed and all that other, like all your really good nutritious 4B herbaceous vegetation has gone by. There's a lot of food, obviously at this time of year, has dried up, withered away, gone by. It's not as palatable and not as nutritional to moose and deer and bear and such so forth. So they're obviously they're taken to more woody type browse, like the maple whips, maple buds and leaves and maple whips and stuff, all your maple saplings. Actually, this is interesting to note, everybody. AJ, the guide, actually was impressed that I actually could tell the difference, that I knew this, because they, obviously AJ and Andy, the guides that we were with, take on a lot of clients that aren't as educated about the moose as some others are, and that a lot of people just automatically assume that those trees that are snapped off, laid over, the tree tops that are snapped, like your young maple, your alder, and like your aspen and maple and alder type saplings, young trees that are snapped off at the top and laid over. That's browse sign. That's moose browse sign, that the moose, they're snapping these young trees, the tops of the young trees over there to get to the whips, as Keith said, to eat the buds and leaves and the tree tops, that the more palatable, nutritional part of the tree at the top. It's not these whips, these broken down trees. Tree tops aren't from rutting bulls raking their antlers, tearing apart the trees with their antlers. Or the rakings and rubs and stuff on the trees and the cuts from moose antlers look, sometimes, a lot of times, they look similar to actual whitetail buck rubs. So you guys picture how tall a 4 to 5, 7 to 7-year-old bull moose would stand. Probably like over 6 feet tall. Probably at his shoulders, probably 6 to 7 feet tall at the shoulders, if not taller. The legs alone are like almost 4 feet long. Maybe 3 foot long legs, and then so you're talking like 7. Holy crap! I mean, they stand. Woo. So you got a picture of how tall the bull moose are, and And then picture their necks and antlers when they bend down to rake the trees. That might be like 4 to 5 feet off the ground. A white-tailed buck rub will be probably 2 feet off the ground. It'll begin at like probably 2 feet off the ground, and at the highest point might be 4 to 5 feet off the ground for a white-tailed buck rub. Your bull mooses, where a bull moose raked and tore apart and rubbed trees and saplings and the cuttings, that'll be like 5 to 6 feet high. It'll be almost eye level to you. If as you're walking through the cut, looking for moose sign, you're looking for these rakings, these areas where the bull moose tore apart the clusters of trees and saplings and the cuttings, and obviously looking for tracks and scats, horn, and so on. So, yeah, so the moose right now, this time of year, are feeding heavily on the treetops. They're snapping the young saplings over about midway up the sapling. They're snapping those treetops right off, laying them down, and they're browsing on them. So let's see. So Shane was asking about some hunting tips for cows to be able to be successful shooting cows this time of year. So definitely food, focusing. Also, your 3 to 5 year old cuttings, logging operations areas. Focus in those areas. Near your boggy, swampy, lowland areas, the moose, they'll find a lot of food, a lot of browse. And anywhere where there's streams, ponds, and lakes nearby, in your lower elevation areas, in your boggy, swampy areas, they're browsing heavily in like a swampy bog, heath type areas. Let's see, I think it was about this time of year. I think the leaves were almost all off the trees. The peak foliage, the coloring of the foliage peaked already. It was about this time of year. Several years ago, I was driving past an overlook on a major route near where I live, and I looked out into this big boggy, peat-like bog, kind of swampy heath area with a meandering river going through it. And there were like nearly a dozen moose out there browsing, just snapping over the tops of the trees. They were just browsing, picking up, eating on something out there. They were so far away. I did get video footage of them. I had just so happened to have my really good video camera with me, and I was able to zoom right in on them. There were several really good trophy bulls out there, a bunch of cows, and they were all just browsing on something out there. So yeah, and that was about this time of year, about middle to late October. So yeah, so someone with a cow permit would do well to hone in on these boggy, wetland, swamp-like, low elevation areas, and go into the 3 to 5 year old logging cutovers, cuttings, clear cuts, and you're going to find fresh moose sign there in those areas. And obviously, hopefully, you're finding places that didn't get overly hunted, didn't get too much human pressure and disturbance to push and drive the moose out of certain areas. You just got to press on, just keep scouting and looking hard. You'll eventually find them. See, Alan Hernandez says, "Hello, sir. Can I get a hunting license at 16 years old?" Yes, you can. So, Alan, if that's how old you are, 16, that's the age you can legally hunt by yourself in the state of Maine. The state of Maine did away with the minimum age requirement for being able to hunt. Used to be 10 years old and older. No one used to be able to hunt under 10 years old in Maine, but the state of Maine done away with that law and regulation. And so, but 16 is the age that you can hunt go out hunting on your own once you buy that adult hunting, big game hunting license. Let's see. Hi guys, you ever took a dump on the floor at a TGI Friday? That guy's just messing with me. That's an awful question. See, I've been live long enough. It's almost 10 o'clock, so it's almost time to cut this short. See, Andrew Stanford says, well, yeah, that's cool. That's awesome that Andrew's mother shot that big buck in his backyard. That's cool. Congratulations on that. So, yeah, I had a bunch. I had nearly 100 people with me live here. But that would be that's a personal record, actually. I was looking at that, how many we're down. It was 99, up in the high 80s, almost 100 people live with me tonight, and it's now down to only 24 people. So a good time to say good night. And I just want to say that I go live every Monday night. If I, for some reason, am not going live on a Monday, it's because of a hunting trip. I'm gone and traveling on a hunt, whether it's a bear hunt, moose hunt, deer hunt. So, but for the most part, Spikes and Gills will be live every Monday night. This is a hunting fishing community. We're going to build it strong. The email that you need to remember is wildmaine@gmail.com. WILDMAINE outdoors@gmail.com. wildmaine@gmail.com. Use that email to send your hunting stories, tips, tactics, and some pics, and I'll happily share your hunting story. You can obviously come on live with us on Monday night with a chance to hear your story shared by me and me showing your pics and stuff, and you could chat, get on chat, tell everybody about your hunt and the tactics you used to be successful, whether it was a deer hunt, moose hunt, bear hunt, turkey hunt, coyote hunt, bobcat hunt, doesn't matter the hunt, elk hunt, pronghorn if you went out west hunt, it doesn't matter the hunt. Just share it through the email wildmaine@gmail.com, or just come on live every Monday night and share your stories through chat. And I'll pause every now and then to read your questions, answer your questions, read what you're chatting. Let's see, Keith says, we'll talk in 2 weeks. Be on hunt next week. Good night. Yeah, good night, Keith. Good luck on those hunts. I hope you're successful. So we'll see you in a couple weeks back here. So go get your moose, Keith. That's awesome. He's Keith. So Keith is saying good night and leaving, but there's still a bunch of you on here with me right now. This Keith Lilly, he's been on a lot of moose hunts, more than me. He's had lots of success, and there's times where he didn't have success. But so, yeah, best of luck to you, Keith. I hope you guys get some more moose. It's Dirt Nap City says, howdy, where are you from? Yeah, right here in Maine, right from Maine, buddy. So Dirt Nap City just joined me and live, and I was just ending the live stream too. Sorry about that, Dirt Nap City, but I just was saying how I go live every Monday nights. So maybe you can, Dirt Nap City, you can come back on here a little earlier next Monday night. I need to get better at putting a post out on YouTube. I can post like earlier in the day and just through regular posting on YouTube that I'm going to go live at 9 p.m. So 9 to 10 p.m. is when I plan it. So it's 10 p.m. now. It's past my bedtime. Time to end. But next Monday night at 9 p.m., be back on here on YouTube. Check out the Spikes and Gills live stream. We're going to build this community strong, this hunting fishing community. We're going to build it up. We're going to share success stories and tips and tactics for fishing and hunting, so we can all just have a grand old time, so we can all have success out there fishing and hunting. All right, so catching deers. Cool. So Catching Deers is from Pennsylvania. Thank you for joining us, Catching Deers. Dirt Naps, he says, I'm from East Texas. It's all right. Yeah. Cool. So we got some guys coming on here from East Texas, from Pennsylvania. There's been some guys from here from Saskatchewan, Canada. Some fellas from northwestern Maine. So Zach, Keith, Shane, Everybody, let's see who else, all of you. Tiny Tines, Dirt Nap, all of you guys, hey, have a great night. So those of you that just joined me live late here, I've been live for nearly an hour. You can come check it back out. You can dodge. Yeah, see, all the more reason to end. I'm getting tongue-tied here. So what you missed some cool videos that I was sharing on my laptop from the previous moose hunt I was on. But you could join me back here next Monday night at 9 p.m. live, Spikes and Gills live, and we could chat more about moose hunting, deer hunting, bear hunting, turkey hunting, whatever you want to chat about. But I'm transitioning into all deer hunting stuff. It's going to be all about deer hunting tactics, tips, just current events around deer, and deer hunting stories, deer hunting success stories from other people. And so I'm transitioning into that, everything deer. So that'll begin, the live streams will be all about deer, everything to do about deer hunting, starting next Monday night. So I'm hoping to get an upload this Thursday night or Sunday the latest. The first of the series of deer hunting content on my YouTube channel. I just ended the moose series, all the moose hunting content series of videos of uploads on the Spike Skills YouTube channel, and now I've transitioned into the deer hunting content. And so the first of the deer hunting series of videos on Spikes and Gills will be hopefully be ready to be uploaded this Thursday night or Sunday the latest, and then it'll be all deer hunting content videos down the stretch, and the live streams will be all about deer. So yeah, definitely join back here this coming Monday, next Monday night at 9. So I'll see you all then. Everyone have a good night.